Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to That's a Shoot, a weekly episodic show where I talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Usually, it's on a Friday. But there are certain times when it's on a Saturday, and when it's on a Saturday, it's because it's Predictions Day. And this is a special one because, oh boy, this is the predictions for SummerSlam 2021 happening tonight, and then NXT Takeover 36 happening tomorrow night. So I'll be doing my predictions, predicting who will win each and every match. As you know, I've been keeping score this entire year. 2021, my predictions, I am 59 and 19. I had a perfect Money in the Bank, last time, going 7-0. Incredible. That being said, SummerSlam and NXT Takeover 36 is a lot more unpredictable, which is actually a lot better for us wrestling fans. Sometimes we can like predictability, but you'd like to see how it gets there, especially in this day and age when everybody is smart to business. But the unpredictability can also be, it's probably maybe even better than the predictability, because you never know who's going to win and how they're going to win. So coming up, we're going to do the predictions for SummerSlam, and then we're going to do the predictions for NXT Takeover 36. But first, let's just go ahead and talk about it. What happened last night on AEW. So last night, on the second edition of AEW Rampage, they called it The First Dance. Live from Chicago, Illinois, in the United Center, my hometown. The hometown boy came back home. Sort of. CM Punk, with cult of personality and everything, came out to a roarous ovation. Had grown men crying. Excitement of a lifetime. And in some ways, it was awesome. It was great to see him back. In other ways, it absolutely wasn't awesome because it was with AEW. He is someone that I am shocked that he is someone who sees AEW as something, as some place to go. I mean, even last night on the show, after the whole CM Punk thing, there was a tag match, the Jurassic Express versus Private Party, and during the match, one of the members of Private Party, Mark Quinn, does a springboard shooting star press and completely misses Luchasaurus, and it's just I don't know. I mean, it is botch city. There are people who are untalented, and there are people who so I don't know. He must have it in his contract that he has full autonomy over his character and who he wrestles and things like that, because he's gonna regret it one day if he doesn't have all that. He's gonna regret it when he comes in one day, walks in, and on the sheet it ends up saying, CM Punk versus Marco Stunt, and he's gonna say, really, is this better than seeing my name up against, you know, um, The Miz or Damian Priest, Sheamus, Roman Reigns? Really? Is that really what he wants? Because the truth of the matter is that what this is that this is a total thing against WWE. That's what most of the people who 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 are or most of the wrestlers who are WWE guys who go to AEW are doing it because they have some type of beef with WWE. And it even have to be WWE guys. Mark Henry's a WWE guy. Christian is a WWE guy, even though he spent some time in TNA. Big Show, WWE guy. Jim Ross, WWE guy. All of them. Chris Jericho, the main one. And he explained his stuff like on the Broken Skull sessions, but he's a WWE guy. And that's what CM Punk is. CM Punk is a WWE guy. But whether he wants to admit it or not, he is. That's where he had his most success. That's where he became the biggest name in wrestling for, several months. That's where he got his popularity from. Is the WWE. He's a WWE guy, and he was to come back like that. He should have came back in the WWE like that. And the fact that he was on AEW, I tweeted it out last night. It hurt in my heart a little bit. It really did. It really did. And so I have mixed feelings about this return because I would love to see him back. I would love to see him come back and wrestle and things like that. But he's in AEW, and at this point, I'm not an AEW guy. I'm not really an AEW watcher. That was the first time I watched Rampage. I don't know if I'll. For a while there, I was watching AEW. You know, I was watching Dynamite every week. Dynamite every week, and then once and then a couple weeks before the NBA playoffs started, and then they moved Dynamite to Friday. I just stopped watching because I just I couldn't take the stuff around the blindness of the foolishness, the hypocrisy of the people who would vitriolically talk about WWE, and then in the same vein, AEW do the same thing, praise them. And I couldn't take it. And so it's really turned me off to AEW. It really has. So that being said, CM Punk is back. Guess that's I guess that's what's good for wrestling. But he should be in WWE, and that's just all I got to say about that. All right, so after talking about that, let's get into the prediction. We're going to start with tonight's show, SummerSlam. And you've got 10 matches. I don't know. I would assume one of the matches, I'm going to guess Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie. Maybe they might move one of the tag matches, the Usos and Rey and Mysterio Dominic. The Usos get the wrong end of the stick always. Um, that might be moved to the pre-show. It's either going to be the Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the United States Championship, or Alexa Bliss or Eva Marie, or they're going to add an 11th match at the end with someone with something else. So they might do a rematch of Nakamura and Cruz for the Intercontinental title. Who knows? But you got 10 matches on SummerSlam. Let's go ahead and start predicting. Let's start with Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie. Um, Alexa Bliss has been, using her powers against Eva Marie and Doudrop over the past couple of weeks. Um, this looks. I can't see this being um, anything more than just a crazy type of you know you know match, and Doudrop is Alexa Bliss is gonna mind control Doudrop and everything like that, and something like that, and who knows? I'm not sure. I'm not even sure Eva Marie's even gonna wrestle. They might do the switch and the bait and switch and have Doudrop wrestle her, and maybe so I don't know, but it seems like an easy prediction here. Alexa Bliss beats Eva Marie or whoever in this match. Next, Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Veer and Shanky have been barred from ringside, but Drew can bring his sword Angela, named after his past deceased mother. They've been wanting to do this for forever since Drew returned to the WWE. They wanted to have this battle. Um, It'll be interesting to see how it goes, how the crowd reacts to it, and if I can see if they can they can hang around and do and pull off a good match. Um, this could go either way. This could either be Drew McIntyre being the babyface, getting the victory over Jinder Mahal, or this could be Jinder Mahal getting a victory over Drew McIntyre, and we're seeing somehow another person being affected by Drew McIntyre. You know, I don't think Jinder Mahal is going to beat Drew McIntyre um, by himself. Um, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go for the upset. I'm gonna say Jinder Mahal beats Drew McIntyre. Next up is Edge versus Seth Rollins. We're going back to Money in the Bank when Edge had a match with Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins felt like he had his title match taken away from him by Edge, and he cost Edge the match. And now here we are, and it's been a pretty damn good build as Seth Rollins and Edge have been comparing themselves to each other. And Seth Rollins had a great video package last week doing that, saying that what Edge did, he did better. And then last night we had Edge come out and bring up the Brood brass on an all white suit from Seth Rollins. Incredible. Um, and again, this is another match. Go either way. Are we going? Is this just a match for SummerSlam, or is this a program? Is Edge, Edge being a part timer, is he gonna stay around for a little bit, or is he coming back? You never know. Because I could see this where they have the match now at SummerSlam, and when the next month match is Extreme Rules in September. So I can see them go to the next Scene Rules and then having Edge, if Seth Rollins get the victory now and having Edge get the victory then. But Edge really hasn't won anything since a match on Raw with Randy Orton. He was part of the loss of WrestleMania where Roman Reigns stacked them and stashed them, whatever he stacked them and pinned them and smashed them and all that stuff. Again, of course, he lost to um to Roman at Money in the Bank. But Seth Rollins at some point is going to be a contender for Reigns' championship. At some point. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with Edge. I'm just gonna go with Edge. I think Edge wins. And Seth Rollins will be able to somehow find his way back on top over the next few weeks. In a match that is one of the more predictable on this show, at least I would hope, is the United States Championship match. Sheamus, the champion, taking on Damian Priest. Now, if we go back all the way earlier this year, he had the match that it was supposed to be Keith Lee, Riddle, and Bobby Lashley at Elimination Chamber. Keith Lee came down with his illness. He replaced it with John Morrison, and then Matt Riddle won. Next month at WrestleMania, Sheamus won. The plans was supposed to be for Keith Lee to have that United States Championship, but then Sheamus won, and then they decided just to put it on Sheamus because at that point Sheamus had been doing some of the best work he's ever done, and he's still kind of doing some really good work. So this match should be incredible. It really should be, but I don't think Sheamus was supposed to be. He wasn't the original United States Championship. And Sheamus broke his nose. He's defending it maybe once or twice since he won it. So this to me this makes an obvious things. They see a lot in Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest is your United States champion. So my winner, Damian Priest. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos takes on Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. This match has been going on for this feud's been going on for a while now. This should be the end of it. The way that they've been doing the Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio storyline, where Rey's been trying to teach Dominic the ways of the ring and telling him to watch his back and things like that, have been interesting. It almost has been like they've been setting him up, to make a turn on Rey Mysterio, and that's something that I don't think that should happen. I think Dominic is he has a baby face. He has a baby face, you know. So he should still be a baby face. I would be okay with it. Like I would be okay with them continuing to do this storyline for the remainder of the year, and remainder of the time, and then maybe at WrestleMania, maybe it's Rey and Dominic versus somebody, and Dominic leaves Rey, and leaves Rey high and dry at the one of the biggest stage of all, WrestleMania. He must make a name for himself finally. He can do all of that, but yeah, it's too quick. He's been in the business what 1 year. It's too quick right now. It's just way too quick right now for him to turn. And actually, I think to be honest with you, I don't think I even want him to turn at WrestleMania. But I just feel like that's how this will be going with this Rey and Dominic storyline. That being said, I think I think that this one is also kind of predictable. This is totally the Usos retaining here. I think as long as the Reigns storyline is continuing, and it will, and as long as I think we're ways away out from the Usos losing the championship. I would expect the Usos to probably lose the titles either at TLC or at the Royal Rumble. Around the same time as Roman may lose the championship. So yeah, I think that's the way to go down. So the winner of the match is gonna be the Usos. The Raw Tag Team Championship is on the line as AJ Styles and Omos takes on Randy Orton and Riddle, RK Bro. Now you would easily think that again, this would be Randy Orton. You know, this should be a Randy Orton and Riddle victory, right? However, I also think that what would also be interesting would be as if Randy Orton and RK Bro had a bit of a struggle to get the championship, right? Maybe they went ahead and then they lost this time, and then maybe at Extreme Rules match, you couldn't get the job done, and then maybe finally at the Clash of the Champions in October, you have the match. You have Randy Orton, Riddle, AJ Styles, and Omos with the stipulation if Randy Orton and Riddle can't win the Raw Tag Team Championships, then they must break up, and then you can have them win it. Also, what you can also see tonight is Randy Orton turn heel, leave Riddle. But I don't think that's the way to go. I think what the way you want to do is you want Randy Orton you want this to last WrestleMania. So the match at WrestleMania is Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle at WrestleMania. I think that's what you're looking for here. So, um, even though I have an inkling to pick AJ Styles and Omos, and I gave you the reasons why that could be, I'm going to go with Randy Orton and Riddle just to be safe. I think they probably would win it. Although there could be a better story told as I just told you. So, but I'm going to go with RK Bro. In a match that may or may not happen, SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line as Bianca Belair takes on Sasha Banks. Now, this past week, there were some things Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. They had some cancellations of matches at live events, and there was some talk about maybe even, Sasha Banks was apparently not at SmackDown last night. Bianca Belair went back to back matches against Carmella and 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 Zelina Vega, and so I'm not really sure if this match is going to happen or not. Um, don't know why. Don't know if it's COVID. Don't know if it's personal reasons. Don't know if it's something else affecting either. I'm guessing now it would be Sasha, the one who would be like the one that was affected, right? So I don't know what is happening, and so but I'm going to pick a winner so that if it does, it is it is on my thing. If it does not happen, it would not count towards the thing. Like if someone if Bianca faces somebody else, is something like that, it won't count as I won't be able to do another prediction. And even with this, and if it does happen, this one is an interesting one too, because you could see both sides of the story. You could see Sasha Banks coming back and winning the championship, and then you could see down the line a third match between Bianca and Sasha Banks, where they could do some type of stipulation match. But then there's also the fact that Bianca Belair coming back, and then we're gonna have the draft in a few weeks, and guess who's gonna come back? Becky Lynch. It's apparently, unless things change, she right now is not gonna come back until the draft, in October. So do you want to keep the SmackDown on title on Bianca Belair? So we'll have to wait for Becky Lynch, and then her and Becky Lynch could go at it, or do you want to put it on Sasha Banks? And then have Sasha Banks now. She's got other people she can talk to. She can do. She's got Tony Storm, who has not been on TV for a couple of weeks, but the Tony Storm has made it. is there. And there's some other ones as well who could, get the title shots. You know, so it's a tough one. But I guess I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair because I just think that if Becky Lynch comes back and it all depends on where Seth Rollins is because I would guess that I would guess they're going to keep Becky Lynch with Seth Rollins because they are married and everything like that. So they try to keep all of the married couples together. So if Rollins is still going to be on SmackDown, then my guess would be that Becky Lynch would be on SmackDown, and then that would be Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch at some point. So although Bianca versus Becky versus Sasha obviously is there, it's made up, it's right there for them. But I think it's going to be Bianca Belair, so that's why I'm choosing Bianca Belair to win this match. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line as Nikki A.S.H. takes on Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair in a triple threat match. So I think the story here is that Nikki has been defeated, been down and out, and she's supposed to, as a superhero would, overcome the odds, right? She's supposed to overcome the odds and then win. So she's going to lose her matches on Raw for the most part. She did beat Charlotte Flair in that no DQ match, but she's going to lose her matches on Raw and then succeed in succeed on the pay-per-views, right? That's what I think. That's the thing that they're trying to go for here with this story. Is that she lost to Rhea Ripley on Raw, and then she was part of the losing team when she teamed with Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax. To me, Rhea Ripley doesn't. She doesn't factor into this. This is either Nikki A.S.H. or Charlotte Flair. Because once again, we have this Becky Lynch thing happening. So if they decide to move Seth Rollins to Raw and Becky Lynch goes to Raw, you would think that once again you would have Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch right there waiting for you, right? Once again to go at it, head up, one on one, once again. But boy, once again, But then again, the storyline would be that you had Nick A.S.H. win the Money in the Bank. She cashed it in the next night on Charlotte Flair, and just to have her lose it back to Charlotte Flair, weeks later. But another thing is, however, they are trying to get Charlotte Flair to the magical 16, just like so she can be just like her father, the 16-time world champion. Although they took some championships away from her for that, but she's the 11-time women's champion. So, boy, I don't know. One of the tougher ones, in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and say Charlotte Flair. I just don't think you just don't bet against Charlotte Flair at this point in time. You just don't. But I think whoever it is, I don't think. I doubt that Rhea Ripley is there to take the fall. I don't think anybody else would. So it's Charlotte Flair, and she'll become another women's champion. The WWE Championship is on the line as Bobby Lashley takes on Goldberg. A battle of the behemoths. Two people who combined age is 97 years old. Bobby Lashley is 44. Bill is 55. No, that wouldn't be 97. That'd be 99. So Bill 53, I guess. Yeah, Bill would be 53 then. Yeah. This Bobby Lashley is totally 44 years old. A match in the making. Both have spears. I think Bobby Lashley, he has the hurt lock, but if they wanted to have Bobby Lashley use the jackhammer, that would be someone who I would see as, yes, that's someone who could use the jackhammer and it would be effective, and it would be something that would be actually be good I think to have used, but they came up with the Hurt Lock, and I like the Hurt Lock. I don't think he's going to use the Hurt Lock on Bill. I think this is probably going to be a spear thing where he's going to spear Goldberg if Goldberg wins, Goldberg loses, and that's the thing. There's a lot of people are wondering, they would Goldberg win. A lot of people are for some reason are worried about that. And I guess because they're just worried because Goldberg is Goldberg, right? However, I think they see something in Bobby Lashley. I think they are, I think they know that they have something in Bobby Lashley. He's if he's not second behind Reigns as the best thing in WWE, he is either third or fourth. He's in the top five for sure. So I don't think, I don't think Goldberg wins here. Now, do I put it past WWE to make that decision? To do something crazy where Goldberg would win the WWE Championship? Maybe would have, uh, maybe would have Baron Corbin come down there and try to cash in the Money in the Bank on Goldberg. Then to have Big E come down there, um, um, beat up Corbin, and then cash in on Goldberg, and then have Big E win it. I could see that. Yes, I think that's, it's a surprise that they would like to see. But I think here, and they also could do it on Lashley. Lashley would have to win, so I could see it either way. But I think here it is Bobby Lashley, and I think he should win. I think he will win. And those who are fearful of a Goldberg championship reign at 53, don't worry about it. And finally, for SummerSlam, the Universal Championship on the line, Roman Reigns versus John Cena. John Cena looking for his 17th championship. Roman Reigns looking to continue his dominance. Uh, I, whew. This has the ability to be one of the greatest matches in SummerSlam history. This also has the ability to not live up to the hype because John Cena could have ring rust, although he's been working some live events, and listen, Roman Reigns has been on a tear since he's come back to to wrestling last year, and he's been the best thing in the business. He's been best thing in WWE. He's been the best thing in the wrestling business. Point blank. Period. End of discussion. Even what happened last night, he's still the best thing to happen happening in this business right now. That being said, can he still continue to keep it up? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Roman Reigns. No, I think Roman Reigns at some point may have a dud because everybody has a dud, right? At some point, even Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Kurt Angle and those guys, they had duds because just the chemistry wasn't there, or off night for both people, or whatever for whatever reason, right? So I worry about this match. And I'll be honest, I was worried a little bit about who would win this match as well until last night. Last night on SmackDown, Roman Reigns said, if I can't beat John Cena, I'm leaving WWE. Well, then that right there tells you that Roman Reigns is winning. Because Roman Reigns isn't leaving WWE right there. So, um, that right there, that was your, that was the point for people like me who's a little bit worried. Are you really gonna, try to give John Cena a championship? And they still could do something stupid and give him the Universal Championship. It's the same thing could happen here. John Cena could beat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could then beat up John Cena after the fight. Corbin would try to cash in the bank. Big E would, would the same thing. Big E would stop Corbin, and he would cash in on John Cena, and then he would win the Universal Championship. To me, that is so stupid. To me, what you want, First off, if they're still on planning on doing Raw vs SmackDown or SummerSlam, I think you would want Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns. That would be incredible, right? I think that would be incredible. That's one. Two, what you want is you want Roman Reigns, if he's going to lose the championship, you want him to lose it closer to WrestleMania. That way, that way, his that is what causes him to go after The Rock, and that's what and that brings The Rock back, and then they clash at WrestleMania. It just makes most sense. But yeah, I'm 90% sure this is a Roman Reigns victory here. So I'm picking Roman Reigns, which in the main event of SummerSlam, Roman Reigns defeating John Cena. And now to NXT Takeover 36 happening Sunday night. We're gonna start off with the kickoff show. Ridge Holland returning from that gruesome knee injury last year, taking on Trey Baxter, who was a part of the breakout tournament. To me, this probably should be an easy thing. I think they're trying to get Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, Ridge Holland thing coming, happening when the other one comes back as well. Danny Burch, I believe it is. So, Ridge Holland, I think, defeats Trey Baxter. One more time for the $1 Million Championship. LA Knight taking on Cameron Grimes. This time, if Cameron Grimes loses, Ted DiBiase becomes, LA Knight's butler. These two have some great chemistry. They've had some fantastic, bouts, and this should be no different. I think though the difference here is going to be that I believe Cameron Grimes should come out on top. LA Knight did the first 2 times they wrestled, but I think Cameron Grimes should come out on top on this one. And I think because I don't know if one, Ted DiBiase being his butler, I don't know if that's anything. And two, how do you get out of that? If LA Knight does win, and then Ted DiBiase is busted, then LA Knight would beat Cameron Grimes 3 straight times, right? 3 straight times within a relatively short span, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it may be, and then who steps up to face LA Knight to get Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase from being the butler? Wouldn't you want Cameron Grimes to do that so that he would, so that he can, stop being his butler and everything like that? So I think this just makes sense. It does, and I think this is without question. I think Cameron Grimes, Knight, he'll win the $1 Million champion, become the $1 Million champion. Now I guess what they could do, they could have DiBiase turn on Grimes, and then DiBiase wouldn't be his. Well, he wouldn't. LA Knight wouldn't let Ted DiBiase be his butler, or something like that. But he would just be LA Knight's manager, whatever. But I doubt it. I think this is Cameron Grimes. For the United Kingdom Championship, Vault taking on Ilya Dragunov. Now, I believe it was last year, sometime last year, when Walter and Ilya had a match. It was during the pandemic when there were no fans. Might have been earlier this year. I don't know. I can't remember. Time has flown by, and I'm getting old, and COVID and everything like that. So, but they had that match. It was just the brutal match and the hard hitting affair between these two, and just it's incredible. One of those, 4.5, 4 3/4, 5-star matches, depending on your taste. But it was so it was just incredible to watch and see. Made Jim Cornette incredibly happy, and that something like that was happening, right? Correct. So we're gonna get the rematch here, and boy, who knows what's happening with the things going on right now in NXT and how that could be affecting NXT UK. Who knows here? Walter has just been dominant, and the thing is, who's going to beat Walter, right? Who's going to beat him? Who can beat him? Could it be Ilya? Especially now with this what they want to see in NXT is they want to see the quote unquote midgets gone. And Ilya is kind of one of those midgets. He's like 5'8" or 195 pounds, something like that. And you get Walter, who's like 6'3", 325 or whatever he is. I don't know. It should be insane though. It should be incredible. I wonder if they can do it again. I want to go with Walter. I think he maintains his United Kingdom Championship. I don't think they have found the person yet to take it off of him. But I think Ela would give it a great go. But I would expect Walter to win this match. The undisputed finale. 3 stages of hell. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. First fall is a single match. The second fall is a street fight. And the third fall is a steel cage match. This will be Adam Cole's last night in NXT, more than likely. And then it all depends on what happens. Does he go hang with his boys in AEW? Does he resign and then head up to the main roster? Then there's been conflicting reports. When the NXT firings happened, there was the WWE was actually Vince McMahon was actually meeting with Adam Cole at that time. And originally there were baby girl there were reports that the meeting between Vince and Adam Cole went well. It was so well that Vince was asking the writers to start coming up with ideas for Adam Cole when he makes his main roster debut. But then afterwards, shortly thereafter, there were reports saying that actually that was not the case. And even though the meeting went fine, Vince has not told anybody anything about trying to come up with something for Adam Cole. So I don't know what's going on here with Adam Cole. I don't know if this will be his last night in WWE altogether, or if he'll hit the main roster. Not sure when. We're so soon to find out. My thought would be that if Adam Cole is no longer part of WWE, it will come out. One of the guys, extremely guys out there, Son Ross Sapp or Andrew Zarian of the Madmen or many others, some people from WrestleVote, from Inside News, they would figure it out, and we would hear that Adam Cole is going to be with AEW. Also think that he'll, if he's going to be at AEW, he would appear at All Out. That was September 5th, right? Just because his contract would be up so that he wouldn't have a 90-day compete clause. And I'm saying all of this because this is easy. It's Kyle O'Reilly. It's got to be. They are going to do the business, what the business is. You're going to leave. If you're leaving the company, you're going to leave doing the favors, putting over somebody, and making them, a better star, bigger and better star than going into the match, hopefully. And this match should rule. It should be incredible. It's Kyle O'Reilly. It's got to be. Kyle O'Reilly wins this match. For the NXT Women's Championship, Dakota Kai takes on her former best friend, Raquel Gonzalez. And here's the thing, right? Because this, once again, is one of those things where you don't know what's going to happen here, what's going on here. Because it would make sense to me Yeah, Dakota Kai wins this match, beats Raquel Gonzalez, and then Raquel Gonzalez goes to the main roster. She's exactly what they're looking for. Especially she's 6 feet tall, and she got a great look, like Latina. Be a big part of the Latin community up there, a Latin star. However, they've been using Dakota Kai as a babyface, might I add, on some of the main event shows and some of the dark matches. So Dakota Kai being called up to the main roster, it's definitely not sure what's going on here. Because either way you have it, this could be one of the things where whoever wins, right, the loser goes to the main roster. And when you think about it, Raquel Gonzalez she's put down everybody that she has pretty much wrestled. The only people she has not wrestled is Frankie Monet. So you wonder, like, what is that, right? Where is she? Would that be the one next? But Frankie Monet, but I guess you could see that because Frankie Monet has been like a heel, so to speak. And I guess you could do Indy Hartwell, right? A lot of things, but if you put it on Dakota Kai, there are some new matchups there. Ember Moon, who I just don't get, but some people like her. She's coming back from injury. She would be a good start. She's already faced Raquel Gonzalez. She would be a good, start for maybe Dakota Kai, or a good, middle for Dakota Kai's reign. And then there's always the fact that they just could, you know, they could have Dakota Kai do, what she's done with, with creating a cross, so she can be the women's NXT championship on the main roster. This is the tough one. This may be the toughest one, other than the Edge Seth Rollins one. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and say that it probably just makes sense for Dakota Kai to win. It makes more sense for Dakota Kai to win. Um, and also it makes more sense because who can really beat Raquel Gonzalez? Who would know how to beat Raquel Gonzalez than her best friend, former best friend? So I'm gonna say Dakota Kai wins, and she's your new NXT Women's Champion. And finally, the NXT Championship match: Karrion Kross versus the returning Samoa Joe. And again, here we have like the same thing, right? Karrion Kross is on the main roster. He's the NXT champion on the main roster. You would think that taking Samoa Joe, and putting the title on Samoa Joe would be the thing here. So then Karrion Kross could go back onto, the main roster and continue whatever he's gonna do on the main roster, right? He's more of a main roster talent anyway than he is an NXT talent. That's what everybody says. That being said, are you really going to put the NXT Championship on Samoa Joe? I know Samoa Joe wants to continue wrestling and things like that, but Samoa Joe could wrestle without the championship in NXT, right? He certainly could. And see, to me, the thing is that I think if I think what happens is going to happen, and you make Kyle O'Reilly beat Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly seems to be the next one who's certainly in line to be the NXT champion. Correct? So are you just going to do just a crazy thing where You put it on Samoa Joe and then have Samoa Joe drop it to Kyle O'Reilly next soon, or do you have Samoa Joe give it up and then there's a championship tournament match? It's so weird. But see, to me, I just think I just don't think you do that. You bring Samoa Joe back. You have Karrion Kross put Samoa you beat Samoa Joe, and then within the next month you have Karrion Kross lose it. You know, maybe have him before the draft happens. You have Karrion Kross lose the title to Kyle O'Reilly on one of the you know NXT shows that they like to do on Tuesdays. They have a special NXT show. So I think that's what you do. So, so I'm going with that. Even though common sense says it would be Samoa Joe so that Karrion Kross could stay on the main roster. I think it's more. I think it's more. It's better to have Karrion Kross win and have him lose to Kyle O'Reilly. So, um, going to use my better judgment once again. I'm picking Karrion Kross to retain the NXT Championship. And a bonus question for here on Twitter, Olympic medalist Gable Stevenson, he put on there that he was going to be at SummerSlam this weekend. So the question is, and I am going to talk about it tonight and tomorrow because he could easily fly to NXT as well after SummerSlam. So the question will be, will Gable Stevenson get physical over this weekend? I'm going, and even though I could see him getting physical with Otis and Chad Gable, or maybe some other ones, maybe even Baron Corbin. I just think he's gonna be shown, but he won't get physical. So I'm going to say no. Whether it's at SummerSlam or NXT Takeover 36, Gable Stevenson will not get physical. All right, y'all. So to recap, tonight, SummerSlam predictions: Alexa Bliss defeating Eva Marie. Jinder Mahal beats Drew McIntyre. Edge defeats Seth Rollins. Damian Priest wins the United States Championship over Sheamus. The Usos retain over Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Randy Orton and Riddle become the Raw Tag Team Championship. Bianca Belair retains her SmackDown Championship if the match happens. Charlotte Flair becomes another Women's Champion. Bobby Lashley retains his title over Goldberg, and Roman Reigns defeats John Cena, retaining his Universal Championship. And then Sunday on NXT Takeover 36, Rich Holland beats straight back in the kickoff match. Cameron Grimes wins the $1 Million Championship. Walter retains his United Kingdom Championship. Kyle O'Reilly sends Adam Cole packing in the undisputed finale. Dakota Kai becomes your new women's champion, and Karrion Kross retains the NXT Championship. And like we just mentioned, Gable Stevenson will not get physical over this weekend, be it at SummerSlam or NXT TakeOver 36. So there you have it, my predictions. Guys, many people have said it. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan, no matter how you feel personally about certain companies or certain things. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's a great time to be excited about wrestling. This is a great time, to just be alive, I guess, in this wrestling world. And I think tonight and tomorrow night to prove it. I think we're going to have fantastic shows, fantastic matches. I expect this to be maybe one of the greatest weekends in the history of WWE. So, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Give me your predictions on what you think is happening. Give me your feelings about anything that's going on with SummerSlam tonight or NXT TakeOver tomorrow. And of course, if you have any thoughts on CM Punk returning, post those in the comment section as well. Don't forget, tonight after SummerSlam, the Rapid Reaction to it. We'll talk about what happened right here. Click that notification bell so that when I go live, we can join in, we can talk about it. And same thing tomorrow night as Nxt Takeover 36, a rapid reaction to that as well. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.